I am on my way. Oh, I gotta turn this on. I'm on my way to meet with my coach about just like planning for next season. It's something we do every year. Usually in January, we'll meet and just talk about the plan. Well, when I first met my coach, we met in like January, and he had me write out I think it was a 3-year plan. Like, okay, so this first year, what tournaments do you want to play? What are your goals this year? And then in 3 years, where do you want to be? And like some of those goals I hit, some of them I haven't yet. But it's been, I guess, 4 years. So we did another like 3-year plan last year. I don't even remember what I said for a lot of it. I mean, I know like the big ones, but he has them written down, and sometimes he'll remind me. Oh, like you said you wanted to do this. Or when so it was like Manhattan a couple years ago. Apparently I said if I play Manhattan in the main draw, I want to street preach. I want to preach on the pier. And I completely forgot about that. And then it came up to where I made the main draw, and he like texts me or something, and he goes, "Hey, I was just looking at my journal. Remember you said you wanted to preach." He goes, like, up to you, but this is what you said you wanted to do. And I remember receiving that message. I remember getting that text. I was at church, actually. And like, up to you, but this is what you said. I was at church. I got the text message, and I immediately think, like, okay, how do I get out of it? Like, I didn't want to preach. I didn't want to do it. But I was there at church. There was like a worship service. And I prayed and I asked the Lord. I said, "Hey, if you want me to do this, you have to tell me. I'm not going to just..." I was trying to find any way to get out of it. So I said, "Lord, if you want me to do this, tell me. Like, specifically tell me that you want me to do it." At the end of the service, this guy comes up to me and introduces himself. It was a brief interaction, maybe a couple seconds. He walks away. I maybe meet some other people. He comes back and says, "Hey, I had to tell you, when I shook your hand, I saw this image. And the vision was you were building an igloo in the desert." He goes, "You're thinking of doing something that nobody else would even try doing. What other people think are impossible. Something so out of the norm." And he goes, "But I think the Lord wants you to just send it." He goes, like you're on a diving board, just go for it. Just go all in. And like, that was the most clear message I could have gotten. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it. So we ended up doing it. We had like 8 people with us. And I just had to go. Street preaching is a strange thing, because there's not a set audience that you have when you're preaching on the street. Like, you don't know exactly who's going to be there, how much time you have. And most people are walking by. They're not there for very long. So you kind of have to always be saying something interesting. Or, I mean, that's the trick, is like people are walking by and maybe one thing you say will catch their attention to where they stick around. But there's that feeling like you need to, oh, Jesus, car. Yeah, when you're preaching on the street, it's not even like you're speaking a whole message, because most people are just walking by. It's not like you're preaching at church or you're giving a Bible message where it's all thought out and it ties back together. Because I've done that, and I can do that, I think, pretty well. Giving a message. I do this all the time, preaching at tournaments. You have an idea, a thought, you tell a story, and then at the end you like wrap it all together. But when you're preaching on the street, you don't, like, you just gotta keep going. Kind of like this. But anyway, so I'm on my way to meet my coach right now. We're gonna go through the plan. He's helped me so much. Treat professional volleyball like I'm an actual professional, because that's something so many guys are missing, is that structure and that professionalism. Most guys will just kind of jump into the season, no plan, no goals, and it really harms a lot of people. I've even had guys ask me, hey, do you want to, like, even now, like, since they released the AVP schedule, people were asking, hey, do you want to play one tournament? Maybe we should run one thing together. And that's just not how you succeed in this sport. You have to make at least a year commitment with somebody. If you want to play in the Olympics, you have to make a 4-year commitment, 5-year commitment. So my coach helps out with that a lot. I think that's like the biggest thing he helps with is guidance, direction, keeping me focused on the mission, the goal. Always reminding me, telling me proper planning prevents poor performance. So, yeah, the 5 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. It's important to plan, prepare, get all your things in order. Like, he'll even make fun of some guys. They'll show up to the beach with no backpack, no sunglasses, no sunscreen. No Advil, no like tape. Like some of these things I need to do better at. But he goes, for the guys who show up to practice without sunglasses, he says, imagine going to school without a pencil. There's tons of people that do that. He goes, imagine trying to school without a pencil, or maybe you have a job where you are dependent on your laptop and you show up without your laptop. It's the same thing, guys, like show up to the beach without glasses, without water, without sunscreen, tape, Advil, snacks. Like, if you're going to be a professional at what you do, you should bring the tools required. If you're a carpenter, you're not going to go without your, I don't even know what carpenters use, hammer, screwdriver. So we do this all the time. We'll meet at the beginning of the year, halfway through the year. Throughout the year, we constantly are meeting just to be on the same page, talk about, okay, this tournament's coming up. What do we need to get in order? Who do we need to reach out to? Do we need a place to stay? Do we need money? How's this tournament going to look? And it's important to have those conversations. And he's so good at that. My coach is so good at just like always reminding us what the mission is. Always reminding us where we're going. And we get to have a nice coffee while we're doing this. I don't drink caffeine anymore, but I've been having decaf, which technically has a little bit of caffeine, like 10 milligrams, but I figured that's fine. We're going down to Equator in Laguna Beach. It's actually a really nice coffee shop. We train in Laguna, so if you've been to California or Laguna, Main Beach is like, I guess, the touristy spot. Sand's super deep. There's like 4 courts now, and we're there all the time. Right across the PCH, there is a coffee shop, the Rivian car dealership, which we're hoping they're going to sponsor us and give us some cars soon. And then in the Rivian in the Rivian dealership, it's just like a hangout spot, so we'll go there constantly. Hold on, I would love to respond to questions. I'm driving right now, so give me a sec. I need to stop before I look at this stuff. But those people in there at the coffee shop, they know us. Because we walk in with the Jesus Rules shirts, and they have the gay flag up there, and we're always really nice to them, so they don't know what to do. And I mean, they might end up sponsoring us, we'll see. Okay, when trying to improve, here, let me read this. When trying to improve on one thing in practice, is it okay to classify 2 things that connect to each other as that one thing? So you want to break it up into like levels of complexity. So like sometimes you need to be super specific. Like sometimes it's like, it's crazy how specific you can be, and that's when you're thinking about just like one thing. But there's other times like, yeah, there are 2 things that you're working on. Let me try to think of an example. Okay, so passing. I don't like passing's too easy, but we'll say like passing over your shoulder. Super controlled environment, may have somebody stand right in front of you. You're trying to pass it in a very specific spot up here in the corner on your shoulder. And you want the person to toss it exactly right there, so you're comfortable making that move and that angle. Now, this isn't even taking into account the possibility that you could, like, the ball might not go there. But let's see. Working on multiple things at one time. I try to keep it as specific as possible, because usually you're doing more than you think you're doing. Okay, so usually like you're really working on way more things than you'd like to be. I mean, I can tell you some things that I'm thinking of working on with Dave. So I guess this happens a good amount, where the blocker will go up. It'll be a cut shot. I'll pass the ball kind of low right to him. And instead of like going high, like a high set, or me getting off the net since I'm already at the cut shot, just like practice that like low, slow flow right to me with a little bit of tempo. So we would just do that over and over again. So like, yeah, I could be working cut shots, but we're really possible to get you that move, knowing where to pass that ball, my blocker landing, turning, and the ball being right there, and just like flowing that ball right in front of him, maybe spreading the offense a little bit. But we just do that over and over again. Like, so just have the coach toss a cut shot. I already know he's hitting a cut shot, so the point is, he's not trying to fake me out. He's telling me where he's hitting the ball, because I want to do that so many times to where when I'm in the game and I can't think about it, but I end up making that move to the cut shot, it's so natural for me, right? So then my blocker, usually when you block and you land, you want to pull off the net like really far, like kind of to the middle of the court. But he's not even thinking about that. He's just thinking of getting off, recognizing the cut shot pass, and then taking those couple steps, pushing into it, and like flowing that ball out there. So I guess, I mean, that's like working on a couple things. But the point is, like, you want to be in a controlled environment doing... It's a coordination thing. Most things are a coordination thing. So if you're playing the piano, you don't just like put all, like, both hands together, do it all at the same speed, same timing. When you're playing the piano, you break it up. Maybe left hand, you do like really slow, just the left hand, maybe one small portion of the song. And you do that until you could do it without thinking about it. And then you maybe add the right hand, and you're still doing it slowly. You don't just try to do it all at once in real time, live. Like, that's not realistic at all. It's all really a coordination thing, especially with the timing. Like, volleyball is one of the hardest parts about volleyball is that you only have so much time to think about everything. The ball is in the air and it's falling down, right? So that's why people freak out, because you only have so much time. But like, that freaking out, actually, like, you end up losing time freaking out and then getting yourself together and then making a move to that ball or doing whatever you need to do. Or you end up wasting time and energy freaking out, making the wrong move, and then having to correct that. That's why, like, isolating things is so important, because then you can be so comfortable doing it to where you don't have to think about it. And that's part of, like, I'm trying to use the same advice for making YouTube videos. Just pump out videos, do a bunch of live streams. Just so I'm used to posting content, so it's not weird to me anymore. I'm not expecting to be the best speaker. I'm not expecting to make the best videos, but I want to be comfortable with it to where then I can start thinking about it, start making adjustments. Have a foundation. Like, in volleyball, your foundation is like a perfect scenario. Like, that needs to be your base. You practice based off the perfect scenario. And if you can't even do the perfect situation right, then, like, how the heck are you going to do it when the game's on the line? Like, it's a tight match, there's wind, the sand sucks, the ref sucks. How are you supposed to do it then when things aren't in your favor, if you can't even do it when you've curated a drill to be, like, helping you out the best conditions? But I was actually just thinking right now, this channel, I don't want to talk too much about volleyball. I should probably answer more volleyball questions on my other account, but this one's just going to be a little bit of everything, I guess. Yeah, I guess I could do just a ton of volleyball questions on my other account. Yeah, we'll try some live streams like that. This is going to be more Bible stuff. I was reading actually in Proverbs this morning. Proverbs 18. If I don't know what to read, I'll just read the proverb of the day. Since there's 30 proverbs, 31 proverbs. It said something like, a man who's hasty in his work, or a slack hand. Yeah, a slack hand. Yeah, a guy who has a slack hand is like the man who destroys. Right, so what that means is, if you're lazy in what you do, that's as dangerous as like an evil guy who's like seeking to destroy. It's maybe as bad of a sin as a destroyer, right? So being lazy is like way worse than we think. Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. Proverbs, I think it was Proverbs 18:5 or something. He who is slack with his work is like the destroyer. And I think it said like the destroyer to those around him. So like the people around you are affected too if you're lazy. I think in Timothy it says like the man who doesn't provide for his family is worse than an unbeliever. And that's something we want to hopefully change the perception of in beach volleyball, pro beach volleyball, is a lot of people just think of Christians as like lazy people, or just nice guys that don't take things seriously. Or just thinking like, oh, because you say you're a Christian, you're going to have like God's favor and you're going to win the games and you're not going to have to do as much. Which there is some truth into like the Lord doing more than what you can do. But he still wants us to be excellent in what we do, work really hard. Like we should be some of the hardest working people. We should be doing our work with the most excellence. If we believe that we are serving the God of the universe, think about that. If your boss is the God of the universe, you should take seriously what it is that you're doing. But maybe most people don't actually believe that. I need to do a much better job with that too. Remembering who I'm working for. Not for myself, not for other people, but for the Lord. Because he is really your provider. Oh yeah, another verse in the proverb I read today was, what was it? Yeah, it was those who are hasty will come to ruin, but the one who is humble will be glorified. The Lord will glorify, or something like that. And like we need to remember, we shouldn't take for granted like the blessings that we have. Right, the Lord, I think, blesses his children, but if you start to think, oh, this was me, like this is all because I'm awesome, or I'm smart, or blah blah blah, or I'm athletic, like I can for sure fall into that temptation, thinking, oh, I got here because I worked hard, and the Lord could tear you down. There's guys that I know, I'm not going to say any